The Act of Killing, what a phenomenal story and how it's been crafted together, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think the thing that's different about it is that you have people not only proud of having done what they did, but so proud that they want to act it out. And I mean, have you seen the reenactments? I mean, they love the cinematic devices and putting on war paint and reenacting it. So suddenly you've got, from 1965, people today in their 60s and 70s sort of boasting about how many communists they killed, how many Chinese they killed, and you're left thinking, are we living in a different world? Are we in the same planet? That's quite bizarre.
Is it quite shocking for you as then filmmakers going back and then actually having to rewatch the content and putting it together and trying actually not to make them into even more heroes than they think they already are? Actually,
well, I think what's the most surreal thing about it is the fact of confronting something that, I mean, I've been involved in these kinds of films for many years, but I've never been faced with something quite as haunting as this particular production, where you're left with, you're left with a sort of horror of what's been done, and at the same time you slightly get to understand the mindset of these rather strange people who did it. And then you start feeling, should I feel guilty about that? Because if there's any criticism of the film that's come up, it's been, how can you give airtime to killers? How can you do that? Aren't you just giving them sort of... And I think the answer is no, because even though you can slightly get to understand them as human beings, you never sympathize with what they've done in the film. And I think you're left with some kind of shock about what they've actually perpetrated. So, I don't know, it's been a unique experience for me, I must say.
And also a unique experience here this evening, the London Critics Circle. What does it mean to you to be acknowledged by a body of critics, really? Because they're not the easiest people to...
I genuinely mean this. It's actually more important than anything, because the one thing that they took 7-8 years to make this film, and the one thing that was always in the back of the minds of particularly the director, but all of us, is that this must make an impact, not just in the West, but in Indonesia as well. And the way it makes that impact is because it's respected by people here. It wins awards, it is seen around the world, people are talking about it, it's got a buzz, and suddenly the Indonesian and the government can't step back and say, they can't bury it. And they've got to acknowledge it, and it's the first time now that they've actually acknowledged something went wrong in the past, and they need to understand that. So the awards actually become really important.